Dina had always loved the outdoors, but when she decided to explore the dense, uncharted forest near her hometown, she underestimated its vastness. Armed with only a small backpack, a map, and her cell phone, she set off in the early morning, the thrill of adventure tingling in her veins. Hours passed as she ventured deeper into the forest, the canopy above growing thicker and the sunlight dimmer. She realized she had wandered far from her intended path. The map she brought seemed useless in the face of the ever-changing landscape, and her cell phone had lost signal long ago. As dusk settled, Dina's unease grew. The forest around her, once inviting, now felt like a maze of shadows and whispers. She quickened her pace, hoping to find a familiar landmark, but instead, she stumbled upon a clearing she had never seen before. In the center stood an ancient, gnarled tree, its branches twisted like skeletal fingers. Suddenly, the air grew cold, and a dense fog rolled in, obscuring her vision. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the occasional rustling of leaves. Dina felt eyes upon her, but saw no one. She tried to backtrack, but the path she had come from seemed to have vanished, swallowed by the forest. Desperate, she called out, "Hello. Is anyone there?" Her voice echoed eerily, as if the forest itself were mocking her. Then she saw it, a figure standing at the edge of the clearing, shrouded in darkness. It was tall and thin, with eyes that glowed faintly in the gloom. Fear gripped Dina, but she forced herself to move, to find another way out. As she turned, she saw more figures emerging from the mist, their eyes glowing with an unnatural light. She ran, her heart pounding, dodging trees and tripping over roots. The figures followed, always just at the edge of her vision. Hours seemed to pass as she fled through the night. Exhausted and terrified, Dina finally stumbled upon a small, dilapidated cabin. With no other choice, she darted inside, slamming the door behind her. The interior was dark and musty, but it offered a fleeting sense of safety. She found an old lantern and managed to light it. The flickering light revealed strange markings on the walls, symbols that seemed to pulse with a life of their own. A cold wind blew through the cracks in the cabin, carrying with it a faint whisper. Dina couldn't understand the words, but the malice in them was clear. Suddenly, the door creaked open, and the figures from the forest began to seep into the cabin like shadows. Dina backed away, clutching the lantern as her only defense. She spotted a trapdoor in the corner and, with no other escape, flung it open and climbed down. The cellar was damp and dark, but it led to a narrow tunnel. She crawled through it, feeling the walls close in around her. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, as if urging her to turn back. But she pressed on, driven by sheer will to survive. After what felt like an eternity, Dina saw a faint light ahead. She emerged from the tunnel into another part of the forest, where the first light of dawn was breaking through the trees. The fog had lifted, and the oppressive atmosphere had dissipated. Dina ran, fueled by a mix of relief and lingering fear. Eventually, she found a familiar trail and followed it back to the edge of the forest. She collapsed to her knees, grateful to see the town in the distance. Though she had escaped, the experience left a permanent mark on Dina. She could never forget the glowing eyes and the whispering voices, nor the ancient tree at the heart of the forest. She warned others never to venture too deep, but some secrets of the forest remained known only to her and those lost to its shadows.